Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to demystify the famously intimidating 11+ verbal reasoning exams. We're breaking them down into simple, logical puzzles. Honestly, if you've ever looked at these tests and felt a sudden wave of panic, you are absolutely not alone. So let's strip away the mystery and figure out exactly how to approach these questions with total confidence.
But right before we get into the mechanics, take a second. Ask yourself, could you effortlessly pass an 11-year-old's reasoning test right now? It's a pretty humbling question, right? We kind of assume that because it's for 11-year-olds, it's got to be basic. But no, these exams are incredibly clever. They aren't testing how much random trivia you've memorized. They're actually testing how your brain processes and organizes totally unseen information under serious pressure.
Okay, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, the 11+ exam challenge. Second, mastering word analogies. Third, cracking number codes. Fourth, solving letter ciphers. And finally, the logic takeaway. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the 11+ exam challenge, and understanding the test format.
The absolutely crucial point to grasp here is that verbal reasoning isn't just a vocabulary test. It is a test of pure pattern recognition. It's all about seeing those invisible threads connecting words, numbers, and letters. So rather than panicking over a massive wall of random questions, your one and only goal is to find the hidden rule. When you're sitting there, clock ticking down on 25 complex questions, finding that governing rule means the answer literally just reveals itself.
Moving right along to Section 2, mastering word analogies and finding those hidden relationships.
All right, let's jump in and play along. Can you spot the logical bridge connecting the first pair of words here? We've got doctor is to hospital. Now, your brain probably wants to immediately jump to the blank next to teacher, but the secret is to pause, stop, and define that first relationship. What exactly is a doctor's relationship to a hospital?
Well, this brilliantly illustrates the solution. Once you define the relationship as person to workplace, applying it to the second word is a breeze. A doctor works in a hospital. Therefore, a teacher works in a school. By forcing yourself to articulate the rule as a little mini-sentence, you completely eliminate the guesswork. It's like a mental cheat code.
Let's look at another example to see how this builds. Here, the relationship is all about origin and growth, leading us straight to the answer, plant. An egg grows into a chicken. Therefore, a seed grows into a plant. See? It's the exact same methodology, just a completely different category of relationship.
Now, what's really interesting about this one is that the rule can also be opposites, or antonyms. That means hope must pair with despair. If you're rushing, you might look for synonyms, maybe guessing dream or wish. But because you took the time to realize that praise is the exact opposite of criticize, you know right away you need the exact opposite of hope.
So whenever you face an analogy, just follow these golden rules to stop guessing and start deducing. Always identify that first relationship. Build that summary sentence in your head. Test the exact same logic on the second pair and, definitely keep your eyes peeled for those tricky synonyms and antonyms. Trust me, this framework is going to save you precious minutes on the test.
Okay, Section 3, cracking number codes. Time to decode some numerical patterns.
Let's level up a bit and step into the shoes of a code breaker. This is where verbal reasoning starts to look kind of like a math paper. But hey, don't let it fool you. It's still all about patterns. At first glance, seeing the word maths paired with a random string of numbers looks like total chaos. You're staring at 5 letters, 5 digits, and your brain might try to do mental math or wonder, wait, is N the 9th letter of the alphabet? Spoiler alert, it's not. But if we just apply this simple 3-step method, the chaos instantly transforms into a totally solvable matching game. Step 1, simply assign each letter in the first word directly to the number in the same position. M is 9, A is 1, and so on. Step 2, identify the letters in your target word. And step 3, just match the numbers up. You aren't doing math here, you're literally just drawing lines between items. For example, look at this one. By matching the repeating letter A to the repeating numbers in this code, you can map out the entire word avatar with total precision. Because you have the words Aara and Vara, you can cross-reference them. A shows up constantly, and the number 1 shows up in those exact same positions. So once you anchor the fact that A equals 1, the rest of the code just crumbles instantly.
Moving on to Section 4, solving letter ciphers. Let's master those alphabet shifts.
Our final major hurdle here is letter ciphers, which, honestly, historically trips up the most students. Why? Because holding moving letters in your working memory is incredibly taxing.
Before even looking at the question, visualizing the alphabet on your scratch paper like this is the absolute best way to track the shift. Seriously, never try to do these alphabet shifts entirely in your head. Drawing a quick reference table, whether it's writing A to Z in a line or folding it in half like we see here, totally offloads the mental burden onto the paper.
Using a reference table like that makes this seemingly confusing reverse alphabet question a simple visual lookup. It points us right to the letter V. The question tells us A equals Z, B equals Y, C equals X. It wants to know what E becomes. Well, if you have your alphabet written out forwards and backwards, you just find the fifth letter from the start, E, and map it to the fifth letter from the end, V. Zero stress, zero mistakes. And you know what? This strategy works just as perfectly for forward shifts too. Identifying the +1 rule makes solving for F incredibly fast. A becomes B becomes C. It's just a simple +1 shift. So you find F, you move forward one space, and boom, you get G. By isolating the rule first, you protect yourself from those silly panic-induced errors that happen when the clock is ticking down.
Definitely lock these cipher strategies into your memory because writing out the alphabet is basically the cheat code to never losing your place. Always write it out immediately when the test begins. Track whether you're shifting forwards or backwards really carefully. Count the jump positions exactly, no estimating, and apply that rule strictly to the target word.
Finally, Section 5, the logic takeaway and building a reasoning mindset.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but the overall mindset you build is way more important than memorizing these specific questions. Ultimately, whether you're 11 years old or an adult doing brain teasers on your phone, this quote perfectly summarizes the secret to reasoning exams. It's not about knowing the answer immediately, it's about finding the hidden rule. The people who excel at these tests, they don't have magical intuition. They just have a really disciplined process for stopping, observing, and extracting the underlying logic before they ever try to pick an answer.
To wrap up our explainer, I want to leave you with one final visual puzzle to solve on your own, using the exact rules we've just learned. Football is to ball, as toothbrush is to, and we've got our 4 options: brush, tooth, teeth, or bristle. Think about the logical relationship really closely. Applying the object-to-core component rule, what part makes a toothbrush actually work? If a football's core component is the ball, what's the active functioning component of a toothbrush? Is it the tooth, or is it the brush? I'm going to let you be the final judge of that rule. Keep exploring the fascinating world of everyday logic. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember, the rule is always there, just waiting to be found.